Good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to episode 1 of Founder Friday. So for those who missed my little video last week, this is going to be a new series I'm doing every Friday morning where I just share some information about myself and my experiences, fun facts if you will, so that we can get to know each other better. Because when I lived and worked in Buffalo, one of the best things I loved about that was the personal relationships I got to make with all the different people, all the different companies, all the different nonprofits, and a lot of them I'm still friends with today. So I figure the best part about making your own company is being able to run it how you want, and that's something I definitely want to continue, is to make sure that those of you out there who are supporting the company, either by following or buying shirts or things like that, get to know each other a little bit. So some of them are going to be, light and fun. Some are going to be more serious and on topic, if you will, but I figure it's a great way to start a dialogue, right? So if you connect with anything that I'm saying or have experiences that are similar or very different, comment down below, because I think a lot of people forget that the point of social media is in fact to be social, just like, through your phone. So for today's video, I'm going to share a little bit about my, I guess you could say, Black experience, because I think one thing that a lot of the media and other people don't portray well is that there's a variety of experiences of being Black in this country. So starting off with the fun fact of my sister and I are first generation African Americans, right? So that means, for those who don't know, like my mom and my dad were both born in Africa and then they immigrated here, which is super dope. Even one of my older sisters actually was born in Africa as well. And I think it's a really interesting point to bring up, because I think a lot of people see in the media and things like that the perspective of Black American, right? Someone that was born here and lives in certain areas, and all the stereotypes that are associated with that. So for me and my sisters, we have a very different experience, right? So like our parents are immigrants. They came to this country when they were younger, actually right around the age I am now, which is kind of weird to think about. But our perspective has always been from someone that has come here, I guess you could say, to follow the American dream, whatever that is anymore, right? So not only is our experience different because of that, and there's a big difference, and you can do some research on this, between like the Black experience and the actual African or African American experience, if you will, Black American experience. But we also grew up in a predominantly white area, right? So our whole Black experience was, I guess, the opposite of the stereotypical Black experience. So there's something within Black culture where there's like these norms and these pressures to fit into a certain type of Black, and that's perpetuated through the media and all sorts of things. And for my sisters and I, like African parents, so that's already one step away from the Black American experience. And then growing up in a white town, that's another step away from the African American experience, right? So it's really important to, I think, acknowledge that there's a lot of different experiences, and not everything you see in the media is going to be the way that it is. And there's tons of reports and statistics about the way that immigrants versus people that are born in America act, and the way that there's always these pressures and things like that of like, well, your parents gave up everything to come here, so you have to be successful, right? I think that's a pretty common narrative across all different groups. So I would love to hear if any of you have, our first generation, etc., or if your parents are immigrants, or if your grandparents are immigrants. Like the experience, I think, of having people come here relatively recently, 50, 60 years is pretty close, and setting up their life and figuring out how to get things done, and like the expectations that are expected from their children, and the way that that sort of thing works. It's all very interesting. So I would love to hear any and all stories about how your experience, where from you're from, and the way that your parents and your relationship is. Because I think that's a really great point that we can all use to celebrate our differences a bit, is to take a look at how our parents' experiences and where they're from and how we grew up and where we grew up can shape us going forward and how we approach things. So that's it. That's the prompt. Like, comment down below. Let's talk. Let's conversate. Conversate? I don't know if that's a word, but I'm going to keep this in because this is supposed to be a really loose, fun dialogue. So I hope you have a great Friday, and we'll see you in the comments.